Welcome to Product by Design with Kyle and Eva,
a podcast about product management and product design,
where we'll talk about subjects from product strategy to inclusive design.
Every episode, we just have a good conversation about all the things that you may already know or not know, and occasionally we'll have a guest from maybe engineering or other product managers and designers to talk about all these topics.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Product by Design with Kyle and Eva. How is everything going?
Life. Just life getting in the way of life. I'm tired, but happy to be here. Just been really busy and it's really hot outside. It makes me want to take a nap every day. Yeah. But I don't have that luxury. I guess everyone, anybody that has a 9 to 5, there's no nap. Not an option.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're in the thick of it now. We are in summer. So I feel like on the last episode, we were talking about easing into summer a little bit and how it was still somewhat spring-like, but we're now in the thick of it. Like, at least where we are, summer, it came fast and furious. So I don't know where other listeners might be and how things have shaped up for you, but we're certainly in the midst of summer, and we are just we hit 103 outside our house today. Yeah, so that is over 40 degrees Celsius. I'll have to check the exact conversion here real quick, since we don't, for all our international listeners, since we don't use Celsius. 103 Fahrenheit.
Why is that? Every time when someone brings it up, I'm like, why? Why don't we? Why?
There's probably a long and storied history to that, and it's super unfortunate. So that's almost 40 degrees Celsius. Yeah, we definitely use that in Brazil when I was there, and 40 degrees, that was always like the mark. It was like it's a 40 degrees Celsius
that's
day.
When you know you're melting.
Yeah, that's when you know that it was going to be terrible. So that 103 is 39.4 degrees Celsius. So that's just super
What's
hot.
The number again?
Yeah, 103 degrees Fahrenheit is equivalent to 39.5 degrees Celsius.
High.
Yeah, so high, so hot. Wow. So anyway, yeah, we are in it. Welcome to summer.
And melting.
Yeah.
At what point do you start calling it like, oh, it's summertime?
June. So June. I'll just settle this debate. June, July, and August. That is summertime. Official. Yeah. So we don't even need to debate it anymore.
It's a very hard line that you're drawing.
Yeah. March, April, May are spring. June, July, August are summer. And September, October, November, fall. And December, January, February, winter. There you go. You can set your calendar. You can disregard all other things. When the solstices are and when all of that other stuff is, like the official start of summer. It's pointless. It's useless. Use those months as the guide and you'll be much better off.
I started saying, yay, summer in April. April. Is that triggering?
Yeah, you're way off. You're like 2 months off.
Off? I don't know. I just started the summer party a little earlier than your household, which I don't know. I feel like back in April, it was already like hot and sunny and I was happy with where we were. Now it's kind of like, okay, I know we're talking about summer here, but it's getting a little out of hand, just a little too hot.
Yeah, it was warming up, but it was still springtime. So despite where we were, it was still definitely springtime, easing. It was still easing into summer, but it was fast approaching. But we've moved into it full force, and it's hot. So I don't know about other places, but I think it's gotten pretty much Western United States is super hot, like like extreme drought conditions everywhere. It's I was looking at some of like the national forecast and things like that. It's absolutely insane. So it's probably going to be a tough summer.
I don't think we can complain. Do you know how hot it is in Vegas right now?
It's like melt your face off hot. Like we were looking at that. It was like 111, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it was higher. I think last time we checked. Hold on. Let's do a live check real quick. If anyone's listening from Vegas, please give us a tweet and let us know if you're still up and running and alive.
Yeah, we had a yeah, okay, 100. I was off by one. Yeah, we had a friend call out because we were talking about different places to visit, and one of our friends was like, "Yeah, come down to Vegas," and like you're talking about coming in the wrong direction for the summertime because. So we had to check the temperature, and we're like, "Yeah, no, that's definitely not happening." Vegas in the summer, you got to be absolutely crazy. Like it's the perfect place to go in late winter, early spring, or like late fall, because it's just still super warm and that sort of thing. But I don't even know what you're doing down there. Southern Utah, Las Vegas, Phoenix. I mean, that's like walking on the surface of the sun in the summer. Like it's just, it's insane.
Oh, this kills me. I see what you're saying though. Even when I walk outside, sometimes outside of my house, I feel like I am each step. It's just, I'm melting a little more.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I'm happy that it is summer because as you guys all know, we're based out of Utah, so there's not much of sunlight or happiness after October. I think October, that's when everything starts to just die a little or a lot.
Yeah.
Depending on when you are.
No, see, and that's where I disagree. Like you're fine coming through the holiday season. It's January that things just get bleak and tough because I mean you have like October is awesome. November, you can make it through like Thanksgiving and then Christmas. Like you have all of these things
that is true.
That you're kind of working towards and just celebrating and other holidays and winding down the year. It's when that new year hits and the bleakness of all of it and the coldness and the darkness. It all starts to set in.
Happiness.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but that's what I'm saying now. And also this year, I think it's exciting that we're, getting vaccinated. People are getting kind of somewhat, excited about, it's summer. We can actually take a vacation this year, possibly. And congrats to those who are going anywhere.
Yeah.
Congrats. I don't have any trip planned yet. Do you?
Yeah, we're going to go to Hawaii next month. So that's like a vacation. And then we have like camping trips and stuff. So
are you going to melt in Hawaii?
In Hawaii? Will be significantly cooler than it is here. So it's far more temperate, thankfully. So it's hot. It'll be like in the 80s, I believe. But compared to the 100-degree weather that we're experiencing across the Western United States, it will probably be quite nice.
And speaking of the sunny Hawaii that you're going to, let's talk about Kyle, you see where this is going. Let's talk about the opposite of light, which is dark. And what are we talking about today?
Let's talk about darkness and bleakness and the dark arts of dark UX and dark product design, which is our topic for today. Creating there's a lot of words we could use, but like the dishonest and what are some other like adjectives we could use to describe it? Yeah. The
evil,
Yeah. Just straight up evil, manipulative patterns that trick users into doing things that they don't want to do. So let's talk about it. That's our subject for today. Dark UX and product design.
Yes. Also known as the dark, what is that? Dark patterns.
Yeah.
I was going to say something really cool and I could not come up with a joke. But yes, it is also called dark patterns. So yeah, let's start with what it is. Do you want to start first?
Yeah. So basically, for me, and expand on this for us, Eva, is dark UX and dark product design is basically patterns or design or different things within an application or a website or just design that we may put in or other, people might put in order to trick a user to do something that a business wants them to do, but that the user themselves may not want to do. And that's basically what makes it evil or makes it dark, is that it's using sometimes blatant trickery or sometimes like very, very subtle trickery and manipulation to get users to do things that they otherwise might not have done or might not have wanted to do.
Exactly. I think you hit all the points. And the main point, the one word that is very important is just manipulative. And I I think that's really the core of it. It's really tricking users into doing things that you don't really mean to do or don't know that you're doing. And it's kind of, I would like to compare dark patterns to kind of playground bullies or the friend in middle school who is always trying to get you to do something because it's cool and trying to shame you into doing something but in the interface or in an email or in any websites. So that's really, I think that's really what it is. The manipulating users into doing things that you don't want to do. And this is probably more common nowadays than, I guess it's been around for a while. And I love seeing the different ways that they, by they, I mean, different companies or different advertisers, whoever, keep coming up with new ways to trick you into doing these things. And I'm already thinking about these different moments. And I'm sure that listeners, you have those moments that you're going to start having flashbacks during this episode. So please share with us. But before we get into it too, I just really want to bring up this website that I have looked into and it's been a journey. It's really fun. It is darkpatterns.org. It's .org. So it's very official. I love that. Okay. Actually, let me give credit to the designer who started the site. His name is Harry Bregnall. I really struggle with this last name, but I think it's pronounced Bregnall. Brignall. So Harry, he started this website called darkpatterns.org, and it lists out all different types of dark patterns that exist in this world. And I would like to propose one more item after I go through kind of quickly down the line what they are. And I have a few that I picked out that I personally dislike very much. The other ones are not that I don't dislike them, but it's just less harmful to me because some of it definitely hurts. The damage that it's done directly impact my bank account, some of them. So that to me, those are top items that I do not like. So should I go down the line? Just quickly mention all the different types.
There's a whole bunch. Should we start with like some of the most common or egregious and talk about those and maybe give some examples of them and we'll get we'll kind of go down. I think I have a list of them. You've got a list. Darkpatterns.org has a pretty good list. I think we'll probably touch on at least most of them or certainly the best of them and then go through like
three. The three that I just want to
some examples of how they impact us and the awfulness of dark design. Like it's such an important topic just because like literally as we create our applications and our experiences, like we have so much power to influence how users interact with things. And this goes across everything that we do and that they do. And so like if we use manipulative patterns within our experiences, like it can have a significant detrimental impact on people in a really bad way. And so to see like companies have that as a primary way of working, or at least, to implement those in what they do, I'm glad that we like talk about it and call it out, and we need to just like continually call it out more. So that's what we're going to do.
The more I look at that list, the more I want to add to my list of like top items I dislike.
Oh, we're probably going to hit on a lot of them. So let's do it.
Yeah.
What's at the top of your list here?
My top hate list out of the entire list of dark patterns is forced continuity. I really have a hard time saying that word, but it is when the free trial of a service ends, it doesn't tell you anything. Yeah. It just kind of like shipped you straight into the line of like, oh, you want to keep paying now, without any warning or assuming that you want to continue and just giving you a quick notification. And I have an example that I want to get into in a second. And the second one to me is the hidden costs. Kind of very similar. Anything that, takes money out of my wallet, or trying to. I think it's really, truly, I see what you're doing there, and it's not good practice. Not a good way to run your business. Doesn't matter in real life, in a store, or online, right? Yeah. Get your hands out of my pocket. Yeah.
So let's talk about the forced continuity, because that's a serious one, and is pretty much how I feel like almost everyone operates. And so you sign up for like a free trial or something like that, where, you get a 1 week trial. Well, all right, let me step back. It's not how everybody operates, but it's how a lot of companies operate, where you sign up for a free trial, or you sign up for some sort of trial period. Or, you sign up for any sort of period, put in your credit card information, and then without any warning, you're basically like auto renewing, and or your subscribe, your free trial ends, you go right into the paid subscription, unless you actively like remind yourself to get out of it beforehand, which I've had to do before. So like I'll put a reminder in that like, hey, on Tuesday evening, I have to cancel this thing because I've done the free trial. It ends at this time. I don't need the paid subscription, and so I have to end it. If I don't end it, I'm going into like the paid subscription, and that is going to be bad for me. So like, don't forget on Tuesday evening to do this thing. So, I mean, that's not how you should be getting your paid subscribers, because you're going to see like massive churn.
So on that note too, I have a specific moments that I still remember till this day. I'm sure a lot of you have Netflix. So this is a little bit not directly about like free trial, but remember when the monthly price increased? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you remember that little pop-up when you open your Netflix app, and it just kind of tells you your monthly price is increasing to, I don't know, $12, $14 on this day. We're adding more great stuff for you to enjoy. And then the only button you click is okay. And there's a tiny, tiny, tiny fine print underneath the okay that says, you may always cancel our membership by going into netflix.com/cancel. It's like, thank you. Good to know that I have to go to our website. Right now I'm in the app, and most people are just going to click okay. You know what's going to happen next? Just going to forget about it and, keep watching How to Get Away from Murder, or is that what it's called? I don't remember. I'm just trying to think of a show. Anyways, and forget to cancel. And that labor that comes with choosing the second option, it's always greater than to just continue to just let it renew, or let it, take money out of your pocket. Right. So yeah. And also Skillshare. That's another example. I really liked Skillshare for a while, but then auto renewal. And like you said, many, many companies do that. And it's sad that it kind of became the norm
Mm-hmm.
That there's so many people that just kind of do what you just said, because I have so many of those reminders. Make sure I cancel Audible, make sure I cancel Blue Apron, whatever it is. Right. And some of these, I know they're not necessarily free trial, but again, it's just after free trial, you should ask. You should ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Or even better is to, not require the, any sort of like payment information up front, so that, you can do a free trial without, any sort of auto payment information, like, going through, because, a lot of times, like, the free trial is just that, like, you're experimenting with a whole bunch of different products, which I do all the time for, for personal use or for work or for whatever it is, to see like which of these is going to fit either my needs or our team's needs or whatever it is. And, I don't want to have to like remember that, okay, I'm doing, free trials here to see which of these is going to work, and then go in and like have to cancel so that I don't get charged and have to deal with like the fallout of all of that sort of stuff. Oh, wow. So yeah, like that's, I'd say that the best companies are not even requiring any sort of payment information. They're just like, hey, here's your trial, try it out, get the information that you need. And then if it works for you, then you'll sign up and, you'll become a paid member. If not, then, it's fine too. But anyway, agree with you. Forced continuity is a very dark pattern.
And I really think that I know there are probably studies out there to kind of measure how much money we're kind of flushing down the drain of services that we're not using, but don't even know that it's happening. So take a look at your credit card statement, everybody. Yeah.
Oh, seriously. And you touched on a second one, hidden costs. So I think that's the second one you said, which was the hidden costs. Yeah. We had this come up pretty recently. And this drives me crazy too. So I agree completely with you. It's on my list as well. We went to a U.S. men's soccer game a week or two ago. And I feel like this is the case with all tickets that you buy to like most events, is that you go through the purchasing process and then you get to the very end and they hit you with like a 10 or 15% service fee for whatever reason. And you get like these hidden fees at the very, very end. And it's like, come on, like why can't you just put these fees up front in the price? Like, why do you have to hide these costs like at the very end? It drives me absolutely crazy that I feel like most tickets do that. So tickets to events, airlines do that as well. Where you get like nickeled and dimed like right at the end for hotels, things like that. Like just give me the cost up front. I feel like that's a huge thing with like why we all value free shipping. I was thinking about that for this episode, is like, we want to see the costs up front. And so like we want everything bundled together, even if ends up being more expensive. Like we just don't like, as people, having costs hidden at the end. And that's why free shipping has become so popular. Even if it ends up being, slightly more expensive or whatever it is, like just put that cost all together so that like, as I'm making purchasing decisions, I know what it's going to be and I can make those comparisons upfront, as opposed to getting through the whole process and trying to like understand that like at the very end, at the end of checkout. Drives me crazy. So hidden costs is so dark. And so there's so many, so many industries that do that, like airlines, hotels, tickets, events, things like that.
Yes. And I think the reason why this is on, my list as top hate list is because also it's just now when you mentioned like the ticket, industry and StubHub and all these companies, it's almost like it's common in the, showbiz or concert biz, but it's like, why is it common? Why is this accepted? And almost because one company is doing it and everyone in the industry is like, oh, we'll do that too. And is that what's happening? And I think that to me is pretty gross. And it being kind of accepted is also part of the, problem too. So that's why it's on my list pretty high up.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about like $2, right? We're talking about like $40 on top.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be significant. Yeah. So it's not like a small servicing fee or whatever it is at the very end. Like there are significant, it feels like it's always significant charges at the very end. And with hotels too, it's like resort fees that you get hit with like right at the very end of the process. Mm-hmm. And it's like a resort fee. Like you're a resort. Like this is what I'm paying for. Like, why is this not part of the charge at the very beginning? And it's like a per night charge. It's like I'm paying for the room per night. And now you're adding a per night resort fee. Like what in the world is happening here? Just add that to the room fee at the very beginning. Like this is not complicated. Just make it all one price from the start. Like that would be so helpful, but it feels like just to keep the prices lower at the very beginning, which is essentially what it is. Like, how do we make the prices lower at the start? We do all of these fees at the very end, which is just, it's a super dark pattern, and you don't do it. Like it's not cool.
Agreed. What's on your list?
All right. Let's see. So this one happened to me the other day. The disguised ad. I'm usually so good at not clicking on these or falling for these, but I was on WebMD and on my mobile, which was probably part of the problem, and totally got taken by one of these disguised ads. Like I clicked on it, like for like a symptom or something like that. And it took me to this other site, and I was like, oh, come on, why?
No. On WebMD
of all places. Like you trust some of these sites, but like the disguising the ads and buttons, basically disguising ads as either part of the page or as buttons that you would normally click on for more information or things like that. Just another like really dark design pattern, both in the advertiser and then in like the placement on some of the web pages. Like it's just very, very another dark pattern that is not very helpful. And I think it's easy enough for, I think, some of us who are very, very well versed in what to look for. But I mean, this is for others who are just not as attuned to either mobile or online and things to look for. Like, I mean, you're just going to be clicking on these buttons and ads all the time, which is obviously what the advertisers are looking for, but just another like super dark pattern that, I mean, I was super frustrated when it happened to me, and I got taken over to this other site when I was just looking for some information. But anyway, yeah.
Manipulated.
Yeah,
you got manipulated.
Got manipulated.
I'm so glad you mentioned disguised ads, because that one is barely not on the top 3. I was debating either that one or Roach Motel, which is a fun one that I don't have on the top 3, but the disguised ads, I feel like it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Yeah. I'm looking at you, Reddit, YouTube, and Instagram.
Yep.
I think they do a really good job mimicking as normal content, but you cannot separate the two sometimes at a glance. There's no way. And I feel like this one is very straightforward. They're trying to get you to click, trying to get you to look at it. And I don't like it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And you touched on probably the next one that I was going to bring up, which is the Roach Motel. So what is a Roach Motel?
Basically easy in, very difficult to get out.
Yeah.
I just love the name out of the entire list. There's another name I really like too, but Roach Motel, it really is so perfect for that
Yes.
So yeah.
There are so many sites like this, and so many services like this where you can easily subscribe or easily get in, but you can't easily get out. So, I mean, my rule is however you subscribe to something or however you sign up for something, you ought to be able to unsubscribe or get out in the exact same way. So, like if you do that online, you should be able to just as easily get out as you got in. Like that's, for me, the test of if you have done the UX and the experience correctly. Like you can get in and get out the same way. But I have a couple of these like that have happened to me over time, and some recently. So unsubscribing from the Wall Street Journal. I don't know if this has been if they've updated this, but I know the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, you can easily subscribe to both of those in like a variety of different ways. If you want to unsubscribe from them, at least in the past, and I'm pretty sure probably still now, you have to, you cannot do that online. You have to like call them, get on with like customer service and unsubscribe. So super easy in, very, very difficult to get out. Same thing with an express pass for the freeway. So I signed up for this when I was when I was commuting. So commuting a longer distance. So I was commuting further from my house. This was a little while ago, and wanted to be able to use the express lane on the freeway occasionally. So like when there was bad traffic, be able to use that if it was just me. And that's like a paid service. So you get like a pass, you can use it. Signed up, did all of that online. Then stopped commuting as frequently. Obviously, we're in a pandemic, don't need that. Went to unsubscribe. The only way to do that is to call the customer service and do like and talk to them and have them take you out of the program, which is just absurd. So fortunately, my card that I was using for that like had expired and didn't wasn't going to renew. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to have to talk to them or anything. So that was like my unsubscribe was just an expired credit card that I was just gonna let that go. But you should be able to easily get out of some of these things, and they just make it like super difficult. Cable companies too, looking at you, internet and cable, same thing. Yeah.
The example I gave earlier for the Netflix price increase, at least they gave me a pop-up, I guess. I don't know. Am I asking for too much for them to ask me if I want to or not continue? But I do feel like that definitely also fit into the Roach Motel trap. It's like, if you want to cancel, you can. You just have to do all these things and remember to do it in a second after you get out of this pop out and go to this website. Yeah. And you probably have to log in again because you're not in the app doing this. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very, very annoying. And again, love the name though.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I sometimes do that I think it's helpful. When I say helpful, it's just unfortunate that this is the problem some companies trap themselves into, because when I type in whatever service, in Google, right? If I see how to cancel as part of the popular search results or suggested searches, there's probably some problems there to get out of it. And that's a good sign of, why is this a popular search? So
that's a good call out. Yeah.
So nice. Yeah, definitely Google that before you get in, before you commit.
Yeah, seriously. All right. What else do you have?
Okay. So this is my third on my hate list is confirm shaming.
Yes.
This one is so common, so common to a point that I see it when I'm trying to learn stuff on the internet, see it when I'm trying to buy stuff or not buy stuff. And so this, I almost feel like this is so common that I don't even have to bring up a specific brand. But if you want an example, so Loft, they do this modal that comes up and then they're saying, hey, we're giving you this many % off. The one button is you have to punch in your email, right? Because that's how you get your discount. If you want to cancel, the button doesn't say cancel. It says, no thanks. I prefer to pay full price.
Yep.
Like, I hate that language so much. It's, again, manipulative and trying to make you think, oh, wait, do I really want to pay full price? Do I really? That make you sound like a sucker, right? Yeah. And it's very manipulative. It's using psychology to make you feel like you're choosing the wrong option, even though you knew a second ago that you wanted to cancel. And this is another one that I think it's kind of funny, because I was trying to learn some stuff about SEO. Can't remember what I was searching. Yep. Ended up on, I feel like I cannot bring up whose website this is, because it's their name is their brand. I'm not going to bring up who it is, but it's a popular SEO guru website. And on the top, it just says, do you want more traffic? And the one button says, yes, I want more traffic. And the other one, no, I have enough traffic. Yep. It's like, oh, okay. Anyways, this is very, very manipulative. And I think, again, if I see this as a human, right, it's really that one friend that is not really your friend telling you like, oh, it's cool, everyone's doing it, why don't you do it? And oh, well, this is not cool, why are you doing it? Almost, that same mentality. I really think it's very unhealthy. Yep. As a practice to get your users to do what you want them to do. Again, it's just playground bully tactics that I think we don't accept that in real life. Why do we accept that on the web? Yeah. I don't like that.
Completely agree. Yeah, there's so many good examples of that too. Kind of going along the same lines. Another one that we've got on the list is like misdirection. And this is a huge one for me, because I feel like it happens all the time on so many different websites, where they will hide pertinent information, or hide the things that they don't want you to do, and readily display the things that they do. So this has like so many different like aspects to it, where they will, news sites, for example, hide the like if you have an ad blocker, for example, this happens to me all the time. They will have the pop-up that's like turn ad blocker off, and then hidden somewhere like in text that you can't see is like continue with ad blocker, but you can't see it anywhere. So you have to like search. And so it's like, what do I do here? It's like, I can't, like, there's no way to continue without, turning off my ad blocker, because I can't get rid of this pop out until you find like that, like, oh, no, it's continue here without turning off the ad blocker. So like hiding that, or like making the little X on a pop-up window like so small that you can't see it, or things like that, unless you like input your email or those types of things. Just like those misdirections. And one that I've been coming up recently against is like accepting of cookies. So I've been like clicking in to a whole bunch of these cookie things, because it's like accept all cookies or like change the settings. I've been going in and like, I'm going to change, accept certain cookies and like change the settings. But if you go into that, there's like so much information in there that it's hard to like even decipher what to do in there. Like it's so hidden and so obfuscated that it's like, what is a normal user supposed to do in this case, other than like go and just accept everything that this site wants you to do, which is exactly what they're intending to do, is trying to obfuscate again all of the things that you could potentially do, so that you do the thing that they want you to do, rather than like make the options clear and simple. Like, hey, here's what you can do, or here's the other thing that you can do. It's here's what we want you to do. We're going to hide everything else so that it's not easy for you to do anything but the thing that we want you to do.
This one also bothers me a lot, because especially when you're trying to cancel a subscription, they ask, oh, pause plan instead of canceling, right? And they also purposely changed the styling where the CTA, the prominent button, is pausing the plan, even though you clearly want to cancel. And that one extra step, if you don't look at it and just confirm, and you're now pausing the plan. It's just going to renew again in a month or however long you just committed to. I think that also, if I'm saying that I want to cancel, I don't want to pause.
Yeah.
Don't show me that button. Show me the button, but don't make that. Don't try to distract me with that button.
Yeah, that's such a good call out. I saw one example of this, of misdirection, like throughout, it was with a game, and throughout the game, like there is like a blue continue button. And that's like, you click that throughout to kind of move from one part of the game to the next. And then as soon as you get to like the end, they use the same color button for like a buy an extension pack, and then put the continue in just like plain text below it. So you get so used to just continue with a blue button that you get into kind of the habit of that. And then there's like a buy button with the same color, same text, and the continue has all of a sudden changed. Such a dark thing to do to your users, to like get them to buy something, as opposed to like continuing with the same pattern that you're using of continue. Man, I thought that was dark. I may have to dig up that example, but that's like serious misdirection that you're employing there.
And I don't know where this example fits in, but I feel like this is probably an appropriate one to talk about distracting the user to do what they want to do, and then, getting them to do another thing instead. I don't know if you have the Reddit app. Sometimes I just end up on Reddit on the web. Every time I pull it up, the little pop-up that asks like, hey, you sure you want to open it in Chrome? You don't want to open, in the app? It's so annoying. And it's like, no, I did not mean to come in to install the app. I just want to, go into whatever post I just get linked into. And that pop-up does not go away. And it's so annoying. Anyways,
yep.
I think misdirection, that probably is something that happens a lot to, install our app, do this thing, instead of, reading the article that you just meant to read real quick and get out of there.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Another one, and this is kind of a funny one, is like the FOMO. So fear of missing out, where you're putting in, trying to get people to act quickly. So either by putting in, only a few hours left, or
timer,
only like a certain quantity left, or those types of things to, kind of spur people forward. That's a super helpful thing if it's like legitimate, if there are only like 2 left, or if there really is only a few hours left. But like to use that as a continual thing to drive people to act quickly is like a really dark pattern. We had this happen. So Udemy, looking at you, where you're constantly like having a sale like every day, and it's like 9 hours left in the whatever day it is sale until it restarts on the next day. So I mean, like, for anybody who's used Udemy, like, that like every day is a sale and it has like, 90% off or whatever. But for those who haven't, it can spur that kind of like, oh wow, we gotta jump on this sale and get everything, while it's on sale. So, that, seeing that happen, and I mean, that's like another dark pattern where like you genuinely have sales like literally every day, and you don't have a real time constraint on it, and you're just like using that to deceive and kind of manipulate people to move forward. So that's a dark pattern that a lot of companies use, and it's not helpful. And once people kind of understand it, then it loses all of its like value. So, you can kind of use it one time on people who have come in new, but then, once you kind of have done it once, then everybody understands like, oh, this is this is just the way it is. And I'm not going to worry too much about like the sale happening right now and that sort of thing. So is it really doing what you hope it will?
Yeah. Out of all the examples and all the ways and types of dark patterns that are formed on the internet, there are a lot more that we didn't even touch on. But I just want to bring up that there's another one that is named after Mark Zuckerberg. I don't think we talked really anything about this one, but I really recommend everyone to look up privacy Zuckering. It is about publicly, sharing more information than you're ready to. And the app is just asking you, hey, post this, post that. Love it.
That's
everybody look into it.
That's
Can you imagine just having your name used in like, oh, this is what evil looks like on the internet. Anyways.
Oh, well, I guess if you're worth that much, then maybe it doesn't bother you. I've got one last one too. And it's the opt-in instead of opt-out, which this is an interesting one because it has both like a dark side and a light side. So it can be used probably. So this is a really interesting one for me because it can be used like in a really like positive way. And for those familiar with like opt-in versus opt-out, for example, like donor registry, for example, like in countries who use donor registries as an opt-out, they have like a 90% donor rate, as opposed to countries that use opt-in for like donor registry, like organ donor for organ donors, basically. Like the US is an opt-in and we have like 15% registered organ donors. So, I mean, it's like a huge difference in opt-in versus opt-out. And that's like a real social good. Yeah. And the same thing goes for like 401ks. Like if you do an opt-in versus opt-out, you can have a really good impact in something like that. Like people having, they just are automatically opted in. You get like a much higher savings and investment rate as opposed to having somebody have to like actually go and opt in instead of opt out. So there's like some really good things with it, but then like the converse of that is like, you can see that people don't opt out of things. And so it can be used for like serious evil, depending on who is actually using it. So if it is a large tech company or, just even a small company that has the ability to say, we're going to opt everybody in and you have to now opt out actively, there's a good chance that most people aren't going to. And what is like, who is deciding that? And what is the thing that they're doing? And is it for good, or is it for users good, or is it for the company's good? And that's probably like a good way to look at it. In the case of like organ donation and 401ks, like those are for a much better purpose than like just solely for the company's good, as opposed to the actual user's good. So, yeah.
And I feel like this podcast can go on for 5 more hours because everything you say just brings back more of these flashbacks. But there's a really popular option, and I don't know who popularized it. And you have seen in some of your apps the option to choose to not have your data sold to a third party. Usually that's an opt-in to participate. It's silly to say participate in a do not sell my data program, but that's kind of a popular option now. And I don't know where it's coming from. Like, don't sell my data to begin with.
Yeah.
And that has become, just a really popular option. And I really cannot think of a particular app right now, but I've seen it many times. And again, I am afraid that this is going to be kind of the norm. And you can argue that, at least they're asking, you have the option to not sell your data. But at the same time, it's like, no, let's just not do that. And every time I say that, I feel like I'm asking for a lot. But again, we're used to accepting what's been given. And with all these ways to create dark patterns on the internet, in your apps and everywhere, I think we are, it's cheesy, but we're better than that. And especially when I work in UX, we literally work for user experience, not company experience, right? And monetization is not my job. And I do understand that sometimes, yeah, we want my company to, stay in business, but I think we can do it with more transparency and with more, in the room advocate for the users and do it in a way that is, not just based on, yeah, we want to put our metrics in front of, what the users actually need. Man, I just got really worked up just now.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I think that's exactly right.
Oh, another one. Sorry. One more toss in there. So when you sign up for any new services or subscription, any new account service, new sign up, right underneath your email form field input, just very often the box is already checked where it says, oh, send me promotional news and like offerings and stuff. No, don't check it for me. I really don't need that email.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's another, that's a perfect like opt in versus opt out. Like it's much better to opt in to those types of things. So let users check that box if they want to opt in, as opposed to opting out, having that box already checked and they have to opt out of it. So I think that's exactly right. Like who is benefiting from that specific thing? And there's been a lot of talk recently with, Amazon just launched Amazon Sidewalk, which is like all of your Amazon devices are now sharing internet bandwidth with each other. And it was an opt-out feature. So, you have to go into, your settings and opt out of that. And so, that's like one of those things that you're not even aware of it unless you're kind of aware of it. But, should that sort of thing be an opt-in or an opt-out? To do it at scale, Amazon is obviously looking at it as it has to be an opt-out type of feature, but what are the implications of that for users and for everybody involved? So those are the things that we're grappling with. Who benefits from it, and should we be opting in or opting out?
This episode makes me feel so tired and so worked up. But yeah, and again, there are just too many ways to trick people into doing something. Yeah.
Yep. And that's for me what it comes down to is like dark patterns in UX and product it really is about manipulating users to do things that the business wants that they may not want to do. Like if it really does benefit users, then, why not make it clear for them? And, it can be something that is mutually beneficial for our businesses, for our product, and for our users. And if that's the case, then there's really no reason to hide it or to manipulate people into doing it. And so we don't need to have dark patterns in UX. We don't need to be evil and push people into things. Like we can be very transparent about what we're doing and have, people have users be partners in that and be advocates for our products and for our businesses, as opposed to tricking them into becoming customers and probably becoming not very happy customers if they've been tricked, or, not very happy temporary users, or, just bouncing off of sites and that sort of thing. If, they've accidentally clicked on something or accidentally opted into something or that sort of stuff. Like that's just not the way to treat people in general. So don't do it. It's dark and it's evil.
Be that voice in your meetings. Yeah. But again, I understand sometimes it gets difficult, but we can all try our best to fight against the evil, the dark patterns. So
that's right. Be the light. And so so somebody has to. And even if your like business is advocating for that sort of thing, like be the person advocating to not do those types of things, so that we can have fewer dark patterns and fewer evil manipulative designs in the world, because it has to start somewhere. And frankly, that's going to be with product and design making the case that we shouldn't do that. So it starts with us.
Yes. That was, wow. I'm all of a sudden not as worked up and not so tired anymore on that message. Can I propose one new term for something that I think it's so it's going to become a thing in a few years, and you're going to remember this moment. Okay. I want to coin the term dumb patterns. Yes. So I want to share with you this moment. I've been trying to figure out if it was dark pattern or not, and if it was more like a dumb pattern. Yeah. Well, I'm the one who's dumb in this situation. I'll tell you what happened. So I was going through my emails and I was like, oh, cool. Somebody just emailed me telling me that I'm their role model. Clicked into it. It was a promotional email. And I was like, oh man, they're really ego baiting me. And I walked right into that trap. And yep, that's it. That's the story. I got tricked because I thought somebody was really sending me a really nice email.
Oh man, they got you. They got you good.
And you really just sit there in front of the computer and just think, wow, what was I thinking before I clicked into that? Just dumb pattern.
Yeah. Yep.
Making me feel dumb. Anyways, just wanted to bring that up.
Nice.
I'm coining the term right here. Dumb
patterns. All right.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I thought you were I agree with that. And I thought you were going to be like, we're going to look back and all of these dark patterns are just going to look like dumb patterns because they don't work anymore in the future, so that's, turn that into a more productive message instead of just me confessing how dumb I felt at that moment. How dumb.
I like that.
We're going to look back and realize just how dumb all of these things were because, people they stop being effective. And so, you can't use manipulative design to trick people. You have to actually, help them and, have them come along with you and solve actual problems and not just opt them into stuff because, they're just going to opt right back out and that sort of thing. You can't trick them into becoming a customer because other people aren't going to do that. And they will become loyal customers of somebody who's not tricking them. So you'll just look dumb if you do it.
I'm with you. And that's a high note, I think.
All right, there we go. We'll end it on a high note.
Yes. Do you have any product shout out or product gripes this week?
Let's see. Shout outs and gripes. I feel like I probably do. What do you have? What do you have for product shout outs and gripes this week?
Shout out.
Okay.
It's so boring though. This one is so boring. Spreadsheet. I love Google Sheet and I strongly dislike Microsoft Excel. I just had a moment this week where I opened Excel. I have a Mac. So I opened Microsoft Office Excel. Immediately, I'm like, why is the font so small? Why is everything so tight? Why are there 50 buttons that you don't know where to find anything? I was doing some analysis on a usage report or something. Anyways, just trying to, get in there, put in some numbers and get some calculation done. And I was just annoyed. And I don't even remember why I felt like going into Excel instead of, because usually I'm already in Google Sheet and I usually go straight there. Mm-hmm. I think I just had a moment of like, remember Clippy and just thought about Microsoft. And I went in there and I definitely was like, nope, goodbye. I remember why I stopped using Microsoft Excel. And I really think the interface is a hot mess. And Google Sheet is great. And it's already ready to be shared with people you work with.
That's true. So
that's it.
Nice.
And I do dislike their charts in Google Sheet. So I will keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my shout out with a little bit of a gripe. So
cool. I think I saw that you'll be able to embed Google Sheets into Gmail directly. So that just the awesomeness that will be coming to Gmail here soon, or is already there. I haven't tried it out, but I did tweet it out. So looks just positively like somebody should have said, no, we're not going to do that. But yeah.
Is that going to be, what's that going to be like? I don't read it especially in the email, or do I?
I don't know. Looks kind of like a hot mess, but anyway. Oof. Yeah, go to that tweet. You'll see. It looks
sounded cool for a hot second, but
yeah, it looks like fun. I don't know if you can do it yet. We'll have to try that out. I didn't try it, but yeah, I'll give a shout out. Yeah, we've been kind of talking dark this whole episode, so I'll give a shout out to the ESPN app because that sounds kind of like anyway, I've been watching a ton of soccer lately. I'm a big soccer fan, and the Euros are on right now, and so that's where in ESPN is broadcasting all of the European Championship, which is just so much fun. And so like watch it on the TV, on the computer, on my iPad, and it's just like I've got it going like in multiple places, and it's been super good. I don't watch a ton of sports other than soccer, so it's been like a real seamless experience, which has been super nice. So shout out to that. I don't use the ESPN app for anything but soccer, but it's been killing it for me, which has been awesome on everything. There you go. And yeah, go watch the Euros and get your fill of soccer before the World Cup starts in the qualifying this fall. It's going to be exciting. You're like, yeah, I can tell you're not into soccer. So,
well, here's the thing. I grew up in Hong Kong, so like soccer is still closer to home in many ways than what is that? Football. See, I sometimes still have to make that switch. Like, which one is football? All right.
Yeah. I mean, we can call it football. And it's just, I guess for our American audience, yes, we'd be talking about soccer, but football for our international audience.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, I'm not huge into sports and stuff, but I do appreciate the practice of, this whole industry. Pretty cool. Yeah. Athletes are cool. So
yeah, we love soccer at our house, and we've been watching a lot of soccer. It's just my kids love it. They play it. We went to a U.S. men's national team game recently, which was a ton of fun. So anyway, yeah.
I support you, and I got nothing to say about sports, but I appreciate the work and
go sports.
just sports in general. Go sports. But yeah, I think basketball is like the most watchable to me because it's fast and you know exactly what's going on, and love that. And go Jazz. Jazz is doing great.
Yeah. Go Utah Jazz. I'm pulling for them to win championships. They broke my heart a couple times when I was young, and went to the finals and lost a couple times. So maybe this is going to be the year. We'll see.
Ooh, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Anyways,
there we go. All right.
This is a high note.
Yeah.
Jazz is a high note.
Jazz is a high note.
Get it?
There we go. Oh man, all the puns. So it's been a great sports podcast. I can't
say that out loud. Yeah, but yeah, we did great, and thank you for listening. That's the episode. Goodbye.
See ya. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app. You can find out more about us and our podcast on our website at productbydesign.co. You can also follow us on Twitter at prodbydesign. That's at prod_by_design. You can follow me on Twitter at Kyle Larry Evans, and you can also find Eva on Twitter at Yan Chow Chow. See you next time.